Tom Bernard here. Thanks for listening to our KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by our friends at Walzer Automotive Group. Walzer is proud to be the Twin Cities' one low-price dealer group. That means upfront, no haggle pricing on every single new and used vehicle they sell. With 24 dealerships over 2 states and a love-it-or-leave-it return policy, you can buy with confidence. I encourage you to experience the Walzer way to buy your next vehicle. See walzer.com for details. Thanks for listening and enjoy our show.
The KQ Morning Show is back. Let's go! 92 KQRS.
5:45 now, quarter till 6, KQRS News and Information. Police are asking for help finding a missing man who was last seen Monday morning in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Police say 39-year-old Mike Ellard was last seen about 10 o'clock in the morning leaving his home for a run. He was last seen on Jackson Drive near Pioneer Trail and Franlow Road. He was wearing a fluorescent yellow jacket, dark shorts, black visor, black and white Brooks running shoes, and an Apple Watch. Anyone with information that may assist with locating him should call Eden Prairie Police. That number is 952-949-6200, 952-949-6200. Mike Ellard is his name. Boy, he looks, and that name sounds familiar. Does that name sound familiar? Mike Ellard, that sounds, is it just like somebody else's name or something?
I don't know, but I thought he looked familiar. I mean, and it's on all of the television stations if you want to check out his picture.
Yeah, he looks familiar, and that name does sound familiar. Maybe it's just a common name in Minnesota, though, possibly. The drought we've had throughout much of the state could leave us with with muted fall colors and shorter peak times, but not everywhere will be a bust. So when and where are the best fall colors this year? Good question. John Laritzen, is that the number 4, Channel 4? John Laritzen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, found out the best strategies for finding colorful fall foliage. Although I want to be a typical Minnesotan and call it foliage.
Foliage?
A lot of people say foliage. Have you ever noticed? God, look at the foliage. Yeah, it's really nice. It's no question. I use it to wrap up all my baked goods. As trees get ready for winter, the chlorophyll fades in leaves, showing off their true colors. The reds, yellows, and purples typically go with maples. They have a sugar compound, which makes for sweeter colors. Carotenoid compounds are often found in birch, aspen, and elm trees, which make their leaves a lighter yellow or orange. But this fall will be different. We've had a drought. The Vikings lost. Yeah, that's why the trees will be different, because the Vikings lost. Exactly. Now our leaves are muted. This is why we can't have nice things in Minnesota. I love John Laritzen. I've just decided. I don't know who he is, but I like him. Muted colors is a great way to describe what the fall colors may be doing, especially in northern Minnesota. Matt Russell, an extension specialist with the University of Minnesota, said. Russell says trees up north have been hit hard by drought, and because many species there have a shallow root structure, they are stressed. So their leaves are peaking and falling much earlier. I looked this morning, and it looked like some areas were already at 25% peak in northern Minnesota, which we don't typically see until the 3rd or 4th week of September. Well, that starts tomorrow, doesn't it? The 3rd week of September does start tomorrow. So there you go. That means your trip north may have to be pushed up a couple of weeks. The further south you go, the more time you have. We do like the fall colors. That's the one thing about watching your Minnesota Gopher football team in the fall. Got the fall colors that match the uniforms, and it's a hell of a tradition. That's all I know. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Researchers are potty training cows to go to the bathroom where there are feces and urine can be collected and treated, reducing ammonia emissions. Now, I don't know, because I've never lived on a farm, but I used to go visit my Aunt Marianne and Uncle Larry and the fine Levine family. No, not those Levines, Tony. Uh-huh. I heard you think.
Yeah, I was wondering what kind of farm that would be.
So listen, we've got the milk and cheese. But in any case, they had collective areas, if I don't remember clearly, but it seemed like there was a little gutter back where they milked the cows, and they would kind of pee and poop in that, and then it would be collected, right? Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah, you have your manure pits. We've talked about the danger of those and people being overtaken by methane fumes or whatever, but I don't know if this is a different way to capture that and release it into the atmosphere, because I don't know it filters any of the methane that goes into the atmosphere that people are so freaked out about.
This might do that. This might reduce those emissions that way. I guess we'll find out. When cattle are allowed to relieve themselves as they graze, now see, this is the ones that graze. So how would you keep a cow from taking a dump if it's out in the pasture? That'd be kind of tough to do, wouldn't it? You cut it out. You get in here and crap in the toilet. I mean, how would you do that?
there's no training cows, and
No.
they go frequently. And when they're not pooping, they're burping.
Yep, that's true. When cattle are allowed to relieve themselves as they graze, their waste can collect in fields and contaminate local waterways. If confined to a barn, urine and feces can mix together and yield ammonia and indirect greenhouse gas. Both scenarios are problematic for human and environmental health. To keep barns more sanitary, waterways clean, and greenhouse gas emissions low, researchers have started training cows to urinate and defecate in designated areas. Scientists described their efforts, a system they named Mooloo training. I said Mooloo. Mooloo. That's how it's spelled. In a new paper published Monday in the journal Current Biology, it's usually assumed that cattle are not capable of controlling defecation or urination. Study co-author Jan Langbein said in a press release, cattle, like many other animals or farm animals, are quite clever, and they can learn a lot. Why shouldn't they be able to learn how to use a toilet? I'm going to teach my cow how to fetch the newspaper. That's what I'm going to do. Wish I had a cow. It'd be great. They'll just let it out your front door. This gigantic cow goes down at the end of the driveway and grabs the newspaper and brings her back in the house.
Lumbers back with it.
Yes, I'm just trying to picture Ms. Langbein here selling this to farmers. We're going to train the cattle now.
I feel like a giant litter box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see anybody. Well, maybe they got an idea. We don't know. Who the hell knows? But yeah, we all want to live cleaner. No question about that. And we'll see if you can maybe put diapers on them. But why don't you just put diapers on them? Let's go. And then you change the diaper every day because I'll wait here. How about that? Okay. Hey, look, I'd like to breathe cleaner air and drink cleaner water and all the rest of it. But again, I just need to tell you, if I were a cow, you know what I'd say to you? You want me to crap in the toilet? What are you going to do about the Eastern Hemisphere? Get back to me. Wouldn't it be great if some cow was a smart ass?
Right. Off to the slaughterhouse for you. Get on the truck.
Yeah, that's it. Pretty much true. Here's what to hand out on Halloween if you want to be weird on your block, the weird one on your block. Now, it's interesting because we bought our very first Halloween decoration just last week. So Halloween, I love Halloween anyway. It's just a great start to a wonderful season and no question about it. But we've already bought a pumpkin that talks. So there you go. We found it,
what's it say?
Found it Vanderbilt. What?
What's it say?
Oh, God, everything. It sings songs. It talks. You're an idiot. You know, just that kind of stuff. Your pumpkin calls you a moron. It's real nice.
Right. So that's like a motion detector on it. When people approach it, it heckles them.
Kind of, yeah. That's kind of how it goes. Or else you can just have it on all the time. And one thing I did discover is it's really easy for a 3- and 5-year-old to turn the volume way up if you do that. I'm sitting upstairs. It's like, you're crazy. I'm like, what the hell was that?
Only insult pumpkin.
I do. I have an insult pumpkin. It's wonderful. Makes really scary faces or goofy faces, depending on which kind of it does. I mean, lights from behind. It's a very cool thing. I don't even know who makes it, but it talks and it makes faces and it sings songs, does all kinds of stuff. The kids love it. I know that. So yes, here's what to hand out on Halloween if you want to be the weird one on your block. Hidden Valley Ranch is selling treat-sized packets of ranch dressing to give out to trick-or-treaters this year. Yes, because why I think Halloween, I think Hidden Valley Ranch dressing.
Give
like
that
it.
to kids. Really?
I love ranch.
Do you really?
Hell
I
yeah.
can't stand it. It's too sweet for me. Well, it's sweet, so I can see how some people would like it. Well, it's kind of like sweet lard.
Sweet, sweet lard.
Sweet, sweet lard, lady. Each packet has a half an ounce of ranch, and that's half of what they consider a normal serving size. Just enough to, just enough to dip a few bite-sized Kit Kats.
No.
No. I agree with Tony. No, we're not doing that. Oh. They're selling them in bags of 30 on hiddenvalley.com. Each bag costs $20. For a half ounce, you get 30 half-ounce bags for $20. Oh, excuse me, there's also $7 in shipping, so it's $1 a pack.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus. Even at that price, they'll probably sell out, so get your orders in now, or you could be the cool house on the block and hand out full bottles. Yeah, hand out full bottles of ranch dressing. Remember that one year, I think it was City Pages, or what was the original one called? The Reader?
Oh, the Reader.
Twin Cities Reader. They threatened to go to everybody, what they called so-called celebrities, go to celebrity houses to see what they were handing out, and if they're giving away crappy stuff, they would report it in the Twin Cities Reader. So that year, Catherine and I handed out Baker Square pies.
No way. That's great. Up a pie.
Little kid comes up, here, kid, here's your pie.
Bottom of the bag, plunk.
I don't know what happened, but they didn't print that in the newspaper. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know. That was back in the days they gave a rat's ass. So I guess, in a way, you look at that all the time. They went after this show and started to rip us apart and destroy it. At least they were paying attention, so that was good. Well, at least they knew what the hell was going on. According to Belgian aviation site aviation24.be, as in Belgium, get it? Local police said the passenger locked himself in the toilet shortly after takeoff. Oh, wait a minute. Did we miss some of this?
No.
That's how it starts? The passenger locked him. How about a passenger, since we just started reading the story? According to Belgian aviation site aviation24.be, local police said the passenger locked himself in the toilet shortly after takeoff from Cyprus to Zurich in Switzerland. The captain of the Edelweiss air flight WK-371 from Larnaca to Zurich on Saturday finally decided to land in Graz around 1:15 p.m. in order to deal with the situation. Once the plane landed, the man finally left the toilet, but without giving any explanation for his behavior. Nothing suspicious was found in his luggage. The man had to continue the final stretch by train once the plane could take off again following the unusual flight delay. I don't really understand. What the hell are they talking about?
What?
Plane makes emergency landing after passenger refuses to leave toilet. They should have put that in the main copy, don't you think?
The Brussels Times.
Yeah, it is the Brussels Times, ladies and gentlemen. 9! Do they speak German in Brussels, or Swiss, German, French kind of combo? I think that's what it was. When we were in Switzerland, they speak like 3 different languages.
Yeah.
I think they speak English, Swiss, and a combination of kind of French and Germany. I guess it depends on where you are, I suppose. I don't know. But nice people. Everybody I ran into in Switzerland is very, very pleasant. Indecent exposure has really taken a toll on a Florida driver who was arrested for exposing himself to toll collectors. Cops say that Mark Anthony Filyaw drove up to the cash lanes at 7 different highway toll booths over 3 days, flashed his penis at workers. Toll collector said he'd pull up to the booth with no clothes on and show off his goods. I said his goods. Highway Patrol was able to use photos of the man's car to identify him and track him down. See, I don't know if you know this or not, but you got license plates on your car, and they have cameras. How did he think he'd get away? Or did he not want to get away with it? Do you think that was his plan all along, is to get caught doing it?
That's what they say, that flashers want to be caught, right?
Yeah, they do, yeah. I don't know why they say that. Who the hell would want to get caught whipping out your schwanz? That's not good on the resume.
No.
So, yes, he was arrested and is facing multiple charges of indecent exposure. That's another thing I will tell you. I've never understood the thrill of, hey, look at this wiener. Mm-hmm. Who cares? They all look the same. They all look like Bezos' rocket. The hell's the difference? Seriously, the guys that go way over the top, look at the pair of jugs on that one. Yes, they're beautiful, no question, all of them are, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and guys like to send them to women, too, when they're in the whole courting thing. Yeah. They just start dating, and I've never met a woman who thought that one was attractive. But they're just not. No. I mean, they're useful. They can be used for a lot of fun and a good time, but attractive?
I just don't think peeing is that good a time, though, Brian.
Sometimes when you really have to go.
That's true. Well, that's true. It's a very good point. I don't understand that whole deal. Like, look at she's seen it before. Unless you've got a really unhealthy relationship and life is good, calm down. What is it? Do they know what drives men to want to expose them? Is it a power issue? Look how powerful I am. Is that what that is?
I mean, part of it is the thrill of doing something extremely naughty.
I suppose. Yeah, you're probably right. That's the naughty part of it, isn't it? Yeah, lame brain. I mean, not you. I'm talking about the guy who whipped his wiener on. Not Tony Lee.
Oh, good.
A marathon runner has expressed his dismay after being overtaken in the final stretch of a course that was later discovered to measure 621 yards, which is 568 meters too long. The men's Brighton Marathon on England's south coast climaxed in a dramatic finish this weekend when runner Neil McClements caught rival Ollie Garrod in the last 200 yards. McClements was officially declared the winner, completing the course in 2 hours and 33 minutes. But that victory is now in question following the error, which was spotted 2 hours after the race began. Garrett, a 28-year-old accountant, said that while he was frustrated by the mistake, he appreciated the inherent difficulties of measuring such long... Inherent difficulties? Hey, grab the end of this tape measure, will you? How is it hard to measure that? Wouldn't you just drive your car and go, here, it's 26.2 miles, or what is it, 26.1? What is it?
0.2.
Something like that? Yeah. It is 0.2, yeah, 26.2. I thought so. I don't understand. But this is like the third or fourth time I've heard this happen, that they had the wrong distance. I literally, again, I don't know why, but people are just not paying attention right now. They just aren't. That's how it is. So that's the deal. It is frustrating when a race is as big as Brighton, which is an established course and hasn't changed really in the best part of 10 years. So it's frustrating that from that angle, but I feel more frustrated for the people who are close to a sub-3 or that kind of thing on a milestone time for them. Yeah, that would be a little frustrating. I organize some races myself, and I know the pressures that volunteers are under. Sometimes it's a case of a volunteer putting the cone in the wrong place. You had one job to put the cone in the right place, but you just couldn't do that. Huh? Okay. Is it Verity Hopkins? Won the women's marathon without any controversy. 2 hours and 52 minutes, man. That's moving. There's no doubt. What is the world record now? Isn't it like 2:05 or something?
I'm curious. Look it up.
I think it's over 13 miles an hour average. Like, Jesus. That's some running, baby. That's all. World record marathon. Here it comes. Oh, it's slower than that. It's 2 hours, 1 minute, and 39 seconds. Jesus. I thought 2 hours, 2 minutes was fast, but they threw another 21 seconds out the window. You know what's great about it? The guy who did it is a Kenyan runner named Eliud Kipchoge. He's got a surprised look on his face.
Yeah.
That's the correct. He's like, what? I did.
Wait a minute. A Kenyan? What?
Right. Shocking. In Berlin, they did that too, and it looks like he's at the finish line and not a bead of sweat on his forehead. He might have toweled off, but he doesn't look like, those people that collapse at the finish line or those people that can't walk. They try and get up after they've collapsed and their legs are just noodles.
Oh, yeah. It does happen. And by the way, Tony Lee, just for your edification, one of the questions at the bottom of that story is, why are Kenyans so fast? I'm not making that up. It was there. Well, you can whoop your ass and mine, I can guarantee you that. 2 hours, 1 minute, and 39 seconds to run 26.2 miles. Man. I mean, averaging 13 miles an hour, I suppose there are a number of people who can get up to 13 miles an hour, but not maintain it for a couple of hours, I wouldn't think.
Right.
Enough of them do it to compete, though, so that's cool. You may love your dog, but not everyone is a fan. Some people have cynophobia, the extreme fear of dogs. Typically, people tend to develop fear of dogs because of being bitten themselves or seeing somebody get bitten. Some dog phobics, however, become fearful of poochies because they just know dogs do sometimes bite. I've been nipped at by I've never been outright bitten by a dog, but I have been nipped on by a dog. You guys ever been bitten?
No.
No, nipped, I think. You're like that. They nip at you. Maybe they catch you just a little bit, but not,
right.
Where they really sunk in or anything like that. No.
Yep, I have not either. And boy, there are some dog bites, man. They shred people. Christ, those bigger dogs. Not pleasant. That's, where I grew up, there are a lot of big dogs, like guard dog kind of people, I guess, or people, kind of animals, I guess. But I didn't want to go in their yard. I know that. I'll wait out here where there's a fence between you and me, Pally. There was one dog in our neighborhood, though, that went over the fence to grab a guy to try to drag him back over the fence. That looked a little uncomfortable. Couples say they realized things were getting serious when they met each other's parents, but couples we surveyed were way more specific, as you'll see with today's list of the top 5 real signs your partner is the one. I said the one. She gets why it's only pass interference when the other team commits it. Really? That's what you start with? Oh. Whenever you ask, how do I look, she knows to lie. Well, yeah, I suppose. Would you ever? No, I would never ask it. Well, how do I look? How about none of your beeswax? She acts like that smell really did come from the... Oh, Jesus. Okay. He remembers important dates like your 1-year anniversary and 6-month anniversary and 3-month anniversary and 1-month anniversary. Okay. We got 4 more to go, ladies and gentlemen. She comforts you when you start crying in front of the TV instead of saying, you know, wrestling's not real, right? When he wants the thermostat at 70, but you want it at 75, he compromises and sets it to 75. She says, oh, I really already loosened it after you opened a jar for her, even though you both know she already loosened it. And he gives you 90% of the shower caddy, no questions asked. Find out who wrote that and execute them.
We have like 3 more stories this morning, so I'm just grabbing everything I can get.
Why are there no stories this morning?
Well, they're all bad news. We don't do bad news any longer, so I'm trying to find fun and good news, and it's like 6 stories this morning I could find. But
what do you mean we don't do bad news anymore?
Just fun. Just fun and interesting. That's the thing.
Where did you get that?
From the top, Tom, from the top.
There is no top. Let me just point that out. We will do the news like we've always done the news. We're not changing it, and that's just the way it is. I may end up having to kill someone. I'm just telling you flat out.
Well, that's not happy good news.
Yeah, that would be bad news.
Well, see, there you go. Yeah, I'm not reading that dog crap on the air instead of real news. It ain't happening. And that's just... Nobody mentioned that to me. Why would they not mention it to me?
I think it was on the corporate Facebook page or something.
Well, I don't even have a corporate nickname or whatever that. What's that called again?
Forcebook.
Your email address.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they give you your own email address?
Yeah,
they do.
do.
See, I don't have one of those. I just whatever. But yeah, I'm here to tell you we're not doing that. And we'll do happy news and we'll do interesting news, but we'll do all the news because that's what we've always done, and that's where we're going to continue to do that. So whoever idea that was, blow it out your ass. How about that?
If you don't have company email, you've been missing out on a lot of employee birthday announcements.
Oh, damn it! That's too bad. That's unfortunate. Jeff Bridges. Oh, see, this is good news. Jeff Bridges had some great news to share yesterday. His cancer is in remission. Last October, he announced he was diagnosed with lymphoma and would be starting treatment. And yesterday, he said his 9-inch by 12-inch mass is now the size of a marble. Jeff also said he had COVID-19 earlier this year. He caught it at the facility where he was receiving chemotherapy. He's feeling much better now and credits his recovery to the vaccination, so that's good. Up until recently, he was needing oxygen just to walk around, but thanks to therapy, he was able to walk his daughter down the aisle at her wedding and do the father-daughter dance without the oxygen tank. Jeff will soon resume filming his new Hulu series, The Old Man. Like Jeff Bridges a lot. We've had him on a couple of times. He's a very, very laid-back guy. He's kind of keeps it close to the vest, but I enjoyed talking to him. What a talent. Very talented guy.
I love him.
Indeed. I like it. Well, if we're going to stay to the other format they want us to change to, give me something kooky to talk about with Jeff Bridges. Is there anything kooky?
Gosh, no, nothing kooky. He has a new movie he's working on now. It sounds pretty good. It's one of those ex-CIA assassin things, and now he's retired, which is, a played-out plot, but kind of interesting to see what he does with it.
Indeed.
I think he's producing it, too.
Yeah, he does a lot of that now, which is smart because you make all the money then. If you produce it, you get to direct it, and you make all the money. So that's good. Want to quench your thirst? How about a nice big sip of ramen-flavored soda? I thought ramen was just a noodle. Does ramen have its own flavor? I thought they were flavored noodles.
Well, the dish is called ramen. So
what dish?
The broth and the noodles, and that's just ramen.
But aren't they different flavors?
Yeah, there's a lot of different flavors.
Yeah, so it's not all ramen flavored, is it?
It's just called ramen. You can
just is instead of noodles.
Kind of
why don't we call it noodles? How about that?
You do you, Tom.
I will do me. There's no question about it. Here's me being me. Hey, go F yourself. There you go. It's me being me right there. Japan-based. Oh, God, I tell you. I try my best not to just, whatever. Japan-based, is it Nissin Foods? Nissin. I think it's Nissin. Nissin Foods celebrating the 50th anniversary of its cup noodle instant noodle soup this month. Honest to God, we go some lame-ass story. Now we're talking about noodles celebrating their anniversary. Yeah, we're going to have a meeting here because this ain't going to happen. I don't care who the hell says what. I don't give a rat's ass. If Grandpa Cumulus wants to come and see me, I'll tell him where to get off, too. How about that?
Grandpa Cumulus.
Whatever the hell his name is. Who knows? These douchebags. Yeah, so forget that edict. Just tell them to give me a call, and then we'll discuss what a great idea that is.
All right.
Here, Tom, we're going to be kooky. No, we're not. We're not going to be kooky. And that's just, well, if you guys can be kooky, and then I'll just sit in the back and go. Is that a good cricket sound?
It's not bad.
I mean, it's not the greatest I've ever heard, but, whatever. So, yeah, there's good news with Jeff Bridges. We like Jeff Bridges a lot. Does a terrific job. So back at it and making movies again. We love to see that whole situation. It's really kind of, Brian's just scrambling now to find stories.
I mean, it's, there is one in here. Here's this. This is nonsensical, but it might get us to the finish line.
Okay, well, that works. There we go. Sometimes filmmakers get the endings of their movies wrong, but the lucky ones figure it out and fix it before the movie goes out to the general public, and here are some examples. Okay, so again, they get the endings of their movies wrong. Well, that's not good. Legally Blonde, the original ending, had Reese Witherspoon and Selma Blair a year later handing out blonde legal defense fund pamphlets on campus. Fans at the test screening didn't think it was exciting enough, so they changed it to Reese giving a speech at her graduation. Number 2, Get Out. In the original ending, Daniel Kaluuya's character ends up in prison for the murders of the Armitage family, but it sucked the air out of the room at the test screenings. I never did see Get Out. Did you guys see it?
Yeah.
Was that the one with the boyfriend that comes to meet him, or the honky family in the suburbs or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that convinced Jordan Peele that the ending needed to be positive to give viewers a hero and an escape. Happy Death Day. The movie originally ended with the tree just being stuck in the time loop again. Is tree a person? I guess. It's spelled tree. Do they mean Trey?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't either. I saw the movie, but I don't remember a guy named Tree in it. Seemingly forever, but after she worked so hard to become a better person. Oh, Tree's a woman. Sorry. After she worked so hard to become a better person, the audience felt betrayed that she didn't get a happy ending, so they let her discover who her killer was and end the cycle. Speed, originally it ended with everyone getting off the bus. I think the movie could be set entirely on a bus, so they added some action scenes away from it, most notably the elevator scene at the beginning and the subway scene at the end. The Lion King, if you can believe it, there was a version of the script where Scar kills Simba, but then burns up in the flames that surrounded them during their final flight. Storyboards were even drawn up for that ending, but it changed during the natural process of script revision. Pretty in Pink, Molly Ringwald was always meant to end up with John Cryer's dorky character, Ducky, but the girls at the test screenings wanted her to hook up with the cute boy played by Andrew McCarthy, so they reshot it. John Hughes was never convinced that was the right way to go, though his next movie, Some Kind of Wonderful, had a similar story, but lead actor Eric Stoltz ends up with the outcast character instead of the hot girl. But that's good. End up with the outcast. Nothing wrong with that. Catherine did.
John Hughes movies were just marvelous.
Yep, I agree. I always liked John Hughes movies. I would agree with you 100%. Tony Lee. Now, I have a question for you as we come up on having to do with the traffic and the weather. Does that have to be kooky, too? Or can I tell the truth about the weather?
No, just make it. It's all good weather and there is no traffic.
There's no traffic at all, and there will not be cloudy. It'll be sunny, although it's going to be cloudy today. It's not going to be cloudy. We deny it. Jesus, whatever. Boy, look at the time. That's all I have to say. Sharon Osbourne is speaking out about her ouster from the talk early this year, firing shots at her former employer's co-hosts. According to Osbourne, she was totally betrayed in the incident. In March, Osbourne publicly defended Piers Morgan's comments about Meghan Markle against accusations of racism during an episode of The Talk, leading co-host Cheryl Underwood to get visibly upset. In an interview with DailyMail.tv, published on Monday, Osbourne doubled down on her claim that the conversation was actually orchestrated by CBS and her co-hosts, who wanted to create live controversy. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I watched it. First of all, there is no news anymore. And I don't care if you're on CNN or you're on Fox. It's political BS. That's all it is. There's no news there. It's their political take on each story, and one goes to the left and one goes to the right. I literally sat down last night because Catherine had to go visit her dad. So I sat down and watched a little news. You can't find the news. I mean, you can tune into MSNBC, CNN, you can tune into Fox or a number of them, but it's not news. It's just political opinion. So basically what I'm finding right now is that the situation in Afghanistan sucks or Trump sucks. That's all the news is now. It's either Arbitron. Well, Arbitron sucks too because they're no longer in business, but Afghanistan or Donald Trump. That's all you hear about. Could you tell me the news? Is anything else going on I should know about? What do you say? What do you guys do for when you tune in the national news? Where do you go?
Well, some of those sites, I mean, you're right. That's about all it is. And to be honest with you, it's a rather slow news cycle. There's not a lot going on, so they all just go to their safe corner, right? I mean, if you're a left-leaning news outlet, then you you still have to attack Trump. You don't have much left out there, I guess, to attack.
Yeah.
And if you're on the right, then it's open season on Biden and the administration, which is the Afghanistan snafu, and then pretty soon they'll go after the tax thing because they announced yesterday tax hikes. But so that's it. Everybody just kind of muddles through.
These are tax hikes they want. They haven't done it yet.
No.
They're just
right.
They want to raise that rate to 40%. That ought to be good living in Minnesota. Basically, if you live in Minnesota, specifically in Hennepin and Ramsey County and America, by the time you're done working, you're going to have to end up getting other money to give them because your whole paycheck's going to go to taxes to pay for all this crap they're going through now. What is the top rate now? Is it 31%, something like that? That's about right, isn't it? The top rate, I think. I don't even know.
No, I don't know.
But to raise it by a third from 31 to 40%, that's a hell of a jump, don't you think? Although at the end of the Eisenhower administration, it was 70% or something, or maybe even higher than that. But that was to pay for World War II, wasn't it?
Right.
So I don't know about this, because you have dreams and, ambitions, so we're all going to pay for that now, are we? Why don't we treat everybody equally and everybody gets treated with respect, and that would be good, and everybody gets to get an education or go out, get off your ass and find a job. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now, man. Lots of weird stuff. But yeah, I was trying to find out, what else is going on in the world other than your opinion on Donald Trump and Afghanistan? What else you got? Well, they don't have anything else because that's all they were talking about. When I bounced back and forth and I never got the news. All I got was them bitching about the other side.
Well, no one hires reporters anymore. If you had 20 reporters before, now you have 2, and they're just doing the same thing we're all doing, going on the internet to see what the other reporters are doing, copy and paste.
I guess. It just doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. I just want the news. You can tune into local news. You can get local news. Like I said, in the morning when I'm not on this show, I watch Chris Eggert. And in the evening, I watch Frank and Amelia, and it works out pretty well. So you get some. I don't know. I guess I don't watch the news enough to know. Do they get all that political on local news now? Do you guys know, like Tony and Candace? Do you know do they get political with the local news?
Man, I don't watch enough. I don't believe so. That's, part of their philosophy is to enjoy, taking a slant.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole. I like to sit back here, kind of stuck in the middle, and watch both sides and go, boy, this is not going to be good, no matter who wins. I mean, that's kind of just how it is now. Whoever wins, they're going to change it the way they want to change it and blah, 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 and whatever. An alleged peeping Tom was fatally shot by a woman after he reportedly stood outside her bedroom window in Houston, Texas, according to police. Jesus. Officers rushed to a home in the 8900 block of Irvington Boulevard after shots were heard at about 11:30 p.m. on Friday. When police arrived at the scene, they found the body of a man who had been shot several times lying outside his house. Houston Police Department confirmed the shooting in a tweet shared on Saturday, which read, North officers are at a shooting scene, 8900 Irvington. Adult male deceased at the scene, 202. The number 202 refers to the number of the lieutenant who shared the message on social media. Police said the woman inside the home claimed to have been frightened when she saw the man looking through her bedroom window. She claimed to have felt in danger, took a rifle and fired several shots through the wall in self-defense. Officers said at least one struck the man in the torso and that he staggered a short distance before he died outside in the driveway outside the home. It is not believed there was any known relationship between the man and the woman inside the house. So she did what she had to do. So in other words, she did see a man peeking through her window. Is that correct?
Yeah. This gets into that gray area of, was he trying to enter the house? Was she in fear for her life? Or, was he just a peeping Tom and she should have called the police instead of blasting through the wall? I have no problem with it, but it'll be an issue.
You're right. It will be an issue. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but Jesus, I just don't be peeking through people's windows. Jesus. No interest in that. Especially if she opens fire through the wall, which could hit you right in the crotch, and that's not going to work for you. I'm just here to tell you. Mr. Mike Evans, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Today, National Hug Your Dog Day.
Oh.
Yeah. You got a dog?
We do have a dog, Judy. Jude's a good dog.
How old is Judy now?
8.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got some love nuggets for you today. Exclusive. Britney Spears' net worth is $60 million. I heard yesterday that a prenup between Sam Asghari and Britney Spears is very, very simple. They are now engaged. They're not going to get married for a while, but if they are ever divorced, Sam would get $10 million cash, and that's it. And from what I hear, he's agreed to that. So, interesting. The ring he bought her cost $70,000, by the way. He probably borrowed that from her because I don't know, he doesn't have any money, so I don't know. Here's a weird one, Tom. A bromance of sorts. They're big stars. They're both single. They play a lot of tennis together. And they double date a lot together. I mean, the more women, the merrier for these two guys that hang out. They are Brad and Brad. Brad Pitt and Bradley Cooper. Probably don't have trouble getting dates. I'm just guessing. Probably plenty of women willing to go out with them. I got an early movie review for you. The Eyes of Tammy Faye is the story of Tammy Faye Baker and her husband Jim Baker. Tommy, it's called a biography and drama, but boy, there's a lot of farce and comedy in this thing. God, it's hard to believe. The story is true to facts, and these two clowns lied to themselves and to the world while building a billion-dollar conglomerate. You see in the story, though, Tammy Faye, a real believer. Jimmy was the real evil guy. But Jessica Chastain plays Tammy Faye and is fabulous. And Andrew Garfield plays Jim, is also good. Rotten Tomatoes didn't like it. I did. 3 stars. It'll be at Marcus this weekend. Some odds and ends update. It wasn't just on Saturday's college game day, where Ashton Kutcher was guest, when 10,000 students around the stage started chanting, "Take a shower, take a shower." Ashton heard the same chant everywhere he went until he left the stadium early. You remember that story we had about him?
Yes, sir. Right.
Yeah. Apparently a lot of people have. Here's a shocking stat, Tom. I want your opinion. More children under 17 have been shot in Chicago this year than children under 17 have died of COVID in the entire country.
Yes, sir.
How sad is that?
And, it's just, they keep hate on the news, and they don't understand that's driving a lot of violence. I don't get it.
Got a prediction for you. California Governor Newsom's recall today in California will fail by a huge landslide. thanks to the $25 million advertising dollars spent by Hollywood to save them over the last 14 days. Hollywood got together. The studio is putting in millions of dollars. And I got a birthday next week, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I can tell you this. Through my entire life, I have never been summoned to serve on a jury. I don't know how I've escaped it. And next week, I will be legally too old, so I've gone through my whole life and never been on a jury. What do you think of that?
I can't be. They called me once, and I literally called them back. They said, "They're not going to put you on a jury."
Well, I wouldn't expect that. No,
What's the end of that?
Yeah, that I can understand that. Another person having a birthday, Chrissy Hynde, one of my favorite singers, the leader of the Pretenders, turned 70. Wow. My favorite Pretenders song is called Precious. You never hear it on the radio because of some language, but if you get a chance, listen to Precious by the Pretenders. Love that song. And you can't make this stuff up. Mel B actually put out a press conference yesterday bragging that the Spice Girls are getting back together for a tour of the summer of 2023. Tom, who the hell cares about the Spice Girls?
What? Do you want to die today, Mike Evans?
Come on now, please.
Are you serious right now?
Candace, please.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. Actually, I guess I'm wrong. There is one person in the United States that does care about it. There's right there in the studio.
Is Victoria Beckham going to be on it or no?
That's what she said. She said, wow. Victoria, the whole gang's getting back together.
Let's do it.
It's weird that it's 2 years in advance, but there you go. Did anybody happen to watch the football game last night?
No, sir.
God, it was really a great game. Overtime, down by over 2 touchdowns. The Raiders came back to beat Baltimore. Really good game. Yeah. Okay. Everything going good, Minneapolis, St. Paul?
Yes, everything's a barn burner.
Yeah, you seem a little quiet today.
There's a reason for that, and we'll tell you about it later.
Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mike Evans, I love working with Mike Evans. Good man. It's here. It's the updated Roomba vacuum. It's new and improved and even more advanced on KQ.
Did you hear? They've made the Roomba vacuum even better. Now it can actually detect and recognize what the things are on your floor, like cable, cords, and even pet droppings. So it can continue vacuuming away. It can also recognize what a lazy human you've become.
Old socks, empty wine bottle, Dorito crumbs, saliva, urine, poo.
And how you're unable to even drag a vacuum across your floor occasionally.
Still single.
Let alone pick up after an animal.
Poo.
So get the new Roomba, because just like a Roomba, you suck.
Filthy.
And a negative, just like a Roomba, you suck, really?
You filthy animal.
You filthy animal. I love that, by the way. You filthy animal. What is he, about 7, 8 years old when he says that? Because he heard it on television. I love that. It's a wonderful thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the KQ Morning Show's trip to Nashville is coming up quick. Don't miss your chance to join the fun. Go to 92KQRS.com to secure your spot. Sponsored by North American Banking Company with support from MyPillow at MyPillow.com. Coming up in the news at 9:30, Brad Blanks talks with Cousin Sal, producer of a documentary about the 1986 Mets winning the World Series. At 9 o'clock, we'll speak with Lisa McGee and Bobby Jensen of Almost Cooper about the Field of Bands fundraiser being held at the Washington County Fairgrounds. That's this Saturday. At 8 o'clock, Dr. Joseph Lee, president and CEO of Hazelden Betty Ford, talks about National Recovery Month. Coming up, we'll tell you why some people are now huffing onions. Yes, I said huffing onions. And Steve-O shared 3 jackass scenes that were cut for being too graphic. The news is next, KQ.
We'll be right back with more KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Tom Bernard here. Thanks for listening to our KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by our friends at Walzer Automotive Group. Walzer is proud to be the Twin Cities' one low-price dealer group. That means upfront, no haggle pricing on every single new and used vehicle they sell. With 24 dealerships over 2 states and a love-it-or-leave-it return policy, you can buy with confidence. I encourage you to experience the Walzer way to buy your next vehicle. See Walzer.com for details. Thanks for listening and enjoy our show.
The KQ Morning Show is back. Let's go! 92 KQRS.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6:47, 13 minutes till 7 o'clock at KQRS. News and information. This sounds more like a prank than anything, and it's another reminder that social media isn't the best place for reliable health advice. People are now huffing the fumes from onions because they think it kills the coronavirus. Of course it does. Memes claiming it's true have been circulating on Facebook, especially in Asia. They say to cut an onion in half, cup it against your nose and mouth, and take a series of deep breaths. But there's zero evidence it actually does anything except make your eyes water and your breath stink. It's gained so much tradition that the news outlet AFP felt the need to debunk it. One doctor they talked to said it's just more bogus misinformation that could actually be harmful to the general public. What was the thing last week again? There was another thing about huffing something. Anybody remember what that was? I don't remember it either. I don't know what that. But there was some other huffing last week. But yeah, it's an onion. Calm down. Steve-O shared 3 jackass scenes that were cut for being too graphic, and they all involved Johnny Knoxville. These include Johnny rolling down cement stairs in a taped-up box. Wouldn't they be concrete stairs? It's cement when it's wet and concrete when it's hard. Is that not true?
I have no idea what the difference is.
That's what I was told anyway when I was a kid. I don't know if that's true or not. No clue. He shot... I'll start here again. These include Johnny rolling down cement stairs in a taped-up box, shooting himself with a handgun, and intentionally getting hit by a car. Some audio, KQ.
I've got at least 3 for Jackass. Box downstairs. It was a great idea. He just got in a box, then tucked in some pillows around him, taped it up, rolled it down a huge flight of cement stairs, and it was violent as hell. There was also when Knoxville shot himself with the .38 caliber Smith & Wesson handgun. Oh yeah, and when he said, "I'm Johnny Knoxville, and I'm gonna get hit by a car real soon." Yeah. Car just came flying. He went through the windshield, rolled over. They asked him, "What were you thinking when you got hit by a car?" And his answer was, "I wore 2 pairs of jeans so I'd be safe."
Oh, that's all you need to know. You're good. I love Steve-O. What a great guy. He's been in the studio several times. One of my favorite interviews of all time was on a podcast a few years ago where Steve-O and Mike Lindell were in studio together. That was a hell of a conversation right there, baby. A couple of different things. They got along really well, though. It was kind of cool because politically they don't agree on anything, but they got along really well because they both have such interesting takes on life, as far as I'm concerned.
The trailer,
Steve-O's a hell of a nice guy.
Trailer for Jackass Forever looks just incredible.
Oh, really? Yes. I've not seen it. Is that a theatrical release? Is it coming?
Yeah, I guess so.
I believe. Police arrested a man on suspicion of burglary Sunday night after he broke into a Pasadena home and stole a resident's pet pooper scooper, authorities said. The unusual crime took place just before 8 p.m. in the 300 block of West Green Street. Pasadena Police Lieutenant Sean Dawkins said 2 residents at the home called police to report hearing banging noises coming from inside their home, along with the sounds of a male voice and doors opening and closing, he said. They soon realized an intruder had ransacked the home's back porch and also broken into the home. The rest of the story is covered. There we go. Thanks. Through a living room window, according to the lieutenant, one of the victims caught a glimpse of the burglar leaving the property with stolen property, described as a pet waste scooper in hand, and relayed the information to police. Officers spotted and ultimately arrested the alleged burglar outside a nearby grocery store. Dawkins said the scooper had been placed inside the store. Why? And is there any hint on why you would steal a pooper scooper? Anyone know?
Well, they say he's a transient, so maybe that comes in handy on the street. I don't know.
You scoop your own turds, basically? Is that what he's doing?
That sounds responsible when
really
that
does.
text, right?
No question. A group of anti-vaccine protesters gathered in London this week in what they say was against tyranny, genocide, vaccine passports injecting children. The group asked participants to push the traffic light buttons at the same time in an attempt to bring London to a standstill. That's cold. It's kind of funny, though. The group encouraged anti-vaxxers to create gridlock traffic between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. 4 hours a little too long. 7, 8, 9, and 10 hour, it's a bit long. A Facebook post read, "We aim to bring London to a total standstill and remind this government that nothing moves or happens in this country unless the people agree to it." Good statement. A little too long, but it's a good statement, I think, maybe. I did hear again on the way in on one of the big local news organizations that now they're saying that there is no need for booster shots. Did you guys see that story?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the CDC saying that.
Yeah, so there you go. The CDC is saying you don't need a booster shot. So what are we supposed to do when one side, oh, you absolutely need at least one, maybe you might have to get one. Didn't that at first say that you'd have to get a booster shot every 6 months for the rest of your life? Was that just a money-making scheme? Is that what that was?
I never heard the rest of your life, but they were pushing for the initial booster.
But now they say you don't need them. So why would somebody think you need them? And then the CDC goes, no, you don't need those. What's the problem here?
Well, it just seems like, since day one, they've been just figuring it out as they go. Like, well, we're not sure, but they make these hard, definitive choices. Like, this is what we need to do. And then a couple of months later, well, we thought that's what we needed to do. That sounded good, that we should keep surfaces clean, but turns out that's not a big deal. Don't wear masks. Nope, wear masks. So I think this is more of, and they're recommending that clinics, hospitals, doctors not recommend a booster shot at this time or for the foreseeable future. So, like, not this fall. So it's not that it won't ever happen, but they're just saying, let's get off the whole booster shot thing for a while.
That's pretty interesting. How did they say how they arrived at that conclusion that the booster shots are not necessary right now?
The article I read, and I didn't read the entire article. I'm sure someone can, clarify it for me, or we can find something on it and pull it up here. But just that the antibody, they don't seem to be increasing the antibodies at this time. So in other words, the shot that you had, whether it was the 2 or the 1, seemed to be doing the trick. There's no reason to start rushing booster shots out at this time.
So the exact opposite of what we were told just a week ago. I don't think that anybody out there has got a good handle on what this actually is doing. So if they're just taking shots in the dark, I understand. You got to do that once in a while, and I'm not going to condemn them for doing that. But if you don't need the booster shot, I suppose it's going to cost a lot of money. Some people in the booster shot business aren't going to like that news much, I guess, because it is all about making money. Appears to be anyway. More of us have groceries delivered now, and Instacart is a great side gig for a lot of people. But one guy who works for them posted a list of annoying things that customers do, and here are 6 things that can make you and your Instacart shopper angry. Adding too many items after your order starts, 1 or 2 extra things is totally fine. It gets annoying when people end up doubling the number of items they want. Now, I'd have to ask you guys a question. Do you know anything about Instacart? Because I do not. You know anything about it?
I mean, I get it. I've never done it.
You've never done it, but you understand it. So what I understand is it says it gets annoying when people end up doubling the number of items. So you do this while they're filling your order? Is that how? I don't understand how it works, I guess is what I'm saying.
I thought it was just like DoorDash, that you just go and select what you want and they deliver it to you. I didn't know that maybe there's like a fluke in the system and you accidentally can order 2 of the same things pretty easily or something.
So you would just go on the internet and enter your order and then send it to them?
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why that would be a problem. But you just keep sending them different emails. But how would you know when they're going to do it?
Well, I'm sure it's all tracked on. I think it's an app. Just like DoorDash is an app. You can watch the dude pick up the stuff from the store and drive to your house.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I don't know. I just, whatever, you got a good job and, too many end up doubling the number of items they want. That's good, isn't it? Or do they not make money by the number of items? It's just per trip. That's what I'm thinking. They get paid per trip, maybe. On
things like DoorDash, the more money you spend, the bigger tip you get.
Well, that's what I thought. So why wouldn't they want a bigger? I'm glad you put it that way, Candace, because that was my thinking exactly. Is, well, aren't you going to get a bigger tip if you deliver more stuff? That's a good thing, isn't it? Or maybe people aren't tipping the way they used to. Not responding to texts is a lot easier on them if you keep your phone nearby to answer any questions that pop up, and it can delay things you don't. Being too picky about replacements, just be reasonable or choose the option for no replacements. One customer, the guy had got angry because they wanted a pack of 8 tortillas, and he got a 10-pack instead. Ooh. You trying to ruin my life with those 2 extra tortillas? Is that what you're doing?
Just go to the store, man.
Exactly. If you want 8, then whatever. Jesus. Go to your next door neighbor and go, hey, you want a couple of tortillas because I got too many. Whatever. Bad directions or an incomplete address. People forget to list their apartment number a lot and don't answer their phone, so the shopper has to sit on hold with Instacart support. Then people complain because their frozen stuff is all thawed out and not tipping them. Most Instacart shoppers just make just over minimum wage. How do they know that? How would they know who makes minimum wage? Because you just put it on a credit card, don't you, or something? So how would they know how much money you make?
I don't know. Maybe they heard through the grapevine.
Yes, that's all it was. It was through the grapevine. So tips are a big part of their income. It's especially important for big orders. Giving them a bad rating for no good reason. They're sent fewer orders if their rating drops, and it can take a while to get it back up to where it was. So don't be brutal just because your order was a little late or they didn't find everything on your list. Once again, I doubt that you guys do as well. You get worked up over it. Well, we didn't have that. Well, what do you want them to do? If they don't have it, what are they supposed to do about it? Right. Call the company and go, hey, get your head out of your ass and make sure you got everything available. It's not the delivery guy's fault. Mm-hmm. Never understood that. I never did understand that as a kid. They would get a pizza and go, oh, that's pizza. It's like, I deliver it. I didn't open it up and look at it. I didn't cook it. You deliver the thing. What am I supposed to do? Plastic surgery not only increases your self-confidence, but it can also lengthen your life. Researchers in the Mayo Clinic found that women who have facelifts may live 10 years longer than those who don't. They credit the resulting boost in self-esteem and optimism, both of which have been shown to extend lifespan. But Candace, look at all that self-esteem and optimism you have. You could live to be 200.
Oh, yes.
What do you think?
Because that's what I want to do.
You don't want to live to be 200?
I might look a little weird.
Well, like I said, the first 150-year-old's been born now, so it won't be too much longer. Somebody will live to 100, I would imagine.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, I would imagine it. Can you imagine 200 years and you do the morning show for 200 years? Jesus, want to hang yourself. Christ. Newcastle University apologized to a medical student who was told her dress was too short during an exam. The England-based university issued a public apology on Thursday after an initial Twitter post of the incident made headlines. A friend of the medical student first called out the university in June for perpetuating sexist notions of primness. Is it primeness or primness? Prim.
Yeah.
Prim and proper.
Prim and proper, primness. A friend did their OSCEs with me recently and got yellow carded for wearing a short skirt. Way to go, Candace, your short skirt traffic. Could someone explain to me how it's 2021 and medical schools are still pushing sexist notions of primness upon its female student cohort for daring to display their ankles? Oh. The Twitter post included a photo of the outfit, which showed the dress hem was beneath the knees, according to a 2013 research article. Exam observers are asked to deal yellow cards to trainees who presented alarming acts that are meant to identify trainees who exhibited unprofessional or concerning behavior. I complained to the university, it says. That's what there you go.
Yeah, I just wanted to find the picture at this point, but they're not going to... Oh, wait. You know what? Perhaps this Twitter post will provide... Oh, what the...
So that's short. That skirt's too short? Is that what they're saying?
That's not a skirt. That's a dress.
It's a dress, yeah. Well, it might be. You never can't tell because it's black. It looks like a dress, though. You're right.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. It's beneath her knees. What's the problem?
I don't know.
Also, it looks like you wouldn't be able to move your legs very far because the very bottom of the dress looks like it's about 6 inches around, for Christ's sake.
I know. You have to take those little steps, that they take and they click along in their heels. I guess.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration announced that the average temperature this summer for the contiguous United States was 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 2.6 degrees warmer than the long-term average. This summer beat the previous record set in 1936 by less than 0.01 degrees, The same year as the Dust Bowl, the NOAA's report spans the meteorological summer, which covers June, July, and August. I'm not buying it. That it was 2.6 degrees warmer than the long-term average. What do you think? Well, first of all, you're going to have ups and downs anyway, so is that even a problem? They don't really talk about that. Sometimes it's going to be higher, sometimes it's going to be lower. Is the average still okay? What does this mean? It's just, once again, they want to spend a ton of dough on on, one thing, let me ask you a question, because Catherine and I walk the dog every night. And not every night, but damn near every night, I stop by the side of the road and pick up somebody's pop can they threw out, their beer bottle they threw out. I told you I found that Circle K slushy in the gutter. If we're so concerned about the environment, why are we just throwing our filth out the window? I don't understand that part. Are we in this together or are we not? Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, well, there's always going to be a stray few.
But it's every day. Well, not every day. I shouldn't say but it's about 3 times a week that I find I pick it up from the bottom because I don't want to be anywhere near where you were sucking on the straw. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand. Once in a while, although how the hell is it going to blow out your car window? How? Yeah, I don't understand. If we're gonna do this, then let's do it, right?
What if it's the same guy?
Could be. That's a possibility. It could be the same guy. Think about this the next time you're going to do something naughty outdoors. A woman's public naughtiness almost killed a baby seal. Way to go. Last month on New Zealand's South Island, an adorable baby seal almost choked to death on a woman's red G-string. Apparently the woman had been getting it on with a guy outdoors near the top of a cliff, and they had to make a quick exit. So quick that she left her thong behind. Well, it fell down the cliff and somehow ended up around a baby seal's neck. Fortunately, someone spotted him choking on the cliff and alerted the authorities. They staged a massive rescue to de-thong the seal's neck. He's expected to make a full recovery. How tight would that be? I mean, Jesus, would it be, if it fell on its head and just slid down over its neck, how tight could it be anyway? Anyone?
Probably wriggled into it a little bit.
Yes, maybe he was trying it on. You may be right. That's a possibility. If you're wondering why you're striking out lately on Tinder, research suggests it might be because you're trying unsuccessfully to pursue people out of your league. Research has found that both men and women tend to pursue partners who are, on average, about 25% more desirable than they are. Well, isn't that kind of the goal?
Yeah, aim high.
Yeah, I know. I got up the very first time I met Catherine, I said, I can't really date you because you're better looking than I am, and therefore I just can't have it. Of course you go after attractive people who are attractive to you, don't you? It's a good thing. Got a nice, attractive partner. Nothing wrong with that, I think. A Subway restaurant employee says she's been suspended from a job shortly after a video of her fighting off a robber went viral. Kelly Sotelo of Rockford, Illinois, thwarted a robbery attempt on September 5th, 2021. According to a leaked security camera footage that was first shared with the public from RockfordScanner.com, a local news outlet that routinely reports on police blotters. The video, which is time-stamped at around 10:38 in the morning, shows Sotelo fend off a robber who entered the store and walked directly behind the sandwich counter. As a scuffle between the two continued outside the employee-only section, the unknown assailant dropped his gun and Sotelo quickly retrieved it. So that's good. So that's the end of the story?
Yes, sir.
There you go. This seems relatable. A woman's tweet is going viral where she says that her son is sick, so her mother gave her a bottle of Vicks Vapo Rub. No. Don't tell me this. A woman's tweet's going viral where she says that her son is sick, so her mother gave her a bottle of Vicks Vapo Rub. It looked old, so she checked the expiration date. It was 1987.
Oh, my God.
34-year-old Vicks Vapo Rub. People started sharing their old bottles of Vicks Vapo Rub and other vintage medications from their grandparents' cabinets and their own. Then the makers of Vicks warned that you shouldn't use expired product because they couldn't guarantee its safety and effectiveness. The woman didn't care. She said she used it and it worked as expected. She also confirmed that it hasn't been refilled and described as a single barrel aged. Jesus, really? A single barrel aged Vicks Vapo Rub. 1987. I like it. Now, what's Vicks Vapo Rub for? Is that to help you breathe better or something? Is that the decongestant cough suppressant?
Yeah.
But how is it a decongestant? But don't you rub that on your skin or something, on your neck or
your chest?
Mom used to cover the chest, and then you put the T-shirt on and go to bed. Sometimes they'd hit you under the lip with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty pop. So what is it supposed to do? Suck into your skin and somehow make you feel better?
And I said that wrong, Tom. Not under your lip, under your nose, above your lip. Is where
Above
they
your
put
lip.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to put that in your mouth. I don't know what the active ingredient in that is, but it's potent. When you get a whiff of it, the eyes tear up, and you know.
Indeed, it's true, ladies and gentlemen. So Vicks Vapo Rub, no matter how old it is, she says it's still effective. 34 years old, and it still works. So that's good. That's good. I remember. I have not seen Vicks Vapo Rub since I was a little boy. We probably have it, but I haven't. I remember I used to see it all the time when I was a kid. Like, did you guys ever take that Castoria when you didn't feel good? You know what that is?
Yeah, I do.
Castor oil, right?
Yeah.
Is it a combination? Castoria. The Castoria is a combination of castor oil and something else or whatever. That was a big. Is that even around anymore?
Gosh, I hope not.
It was nasty.
What was Campho-Phenique for?
Ooh,
I
Campho-Phenique.
remember hearing ads for that. Wondering what that even was.
I think he was a wide receiver for the Vikings. I'm not sure. Not positive, but there's a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently there's such a thing as a perfectly spaced nipples. So get ready to roll your eyes at how superficial and arbitrary it seems while secretly planning to toss a ruler between your nipples later on tonight. Well, what is perfectly spaced? That'd be kind of tough because some people are very large framed and some people are very thin. So wouldn't it have to do with your body type?
No, if you're too big, they're not perfectly spaced. If you're too thin, they're going to be I don't know, to be honest.
I don't understand what perfectly spaced would be. It depends on your body type, I would think. A company in China is holding a beauty pageant. One of their requirements is that all contestants have perfectly spaced nipples. And these people are going to end up running the world. Isn't this great news? We don't care about that. We care about perfectly spaced nipples. Great. Through a massive amount of research, they say they've determined what the spacing is. They've concluded that nipples should be exactly 20 centimeters apart, or 7.87 inches. Okay, I can hear both Tony and Candace reaching for the ruler. Mm-hmm. So what did you get? Did you get 7.87?
Hard to say.
By the way, that's from the center of one nipple to the center of the other nipple, not from areola to areola. The grand prize for winning the pageant is about $1,600, but I guess more importantly, you get to be known as the most perfectly spaced nipple donor in China or something like that. Okay, so the space, I think mine are too wide.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You're naughty.
And mine are on the outside. Mine, yeah, it's not fair because women can kind of squeeze theirs closer together and get that right there at 7.87 if they want.
Yeah, mine look to be about 10 inches apart. From nipple to nipple, you got to go. Not areola to areola, but nipple to nipple. It looks to me, probably about 10 inches, man. I'm a freak. I'm malformed.
I swear I just saw Tony look down at each one.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Well, I'm curious.
How sad. How sad is that? We're all staring at our nipples. Well, are they good or not?
He looked down at one, and then he looked down at the other one.
Christ.
They look different.
What a way to make a living is all I have to say to you people. What a way to make a living. Yeah, it would depend on how big your chest. I have a very big chest cavity. My chest I don't know why that is either, but my chest sticks, that chest bone, what the hell's that bone called at the bottom, right in the middle of your chest?
Sternum?
Sternum, yeah.
Your sternum. Is that little hangy thing at the bottom?
The solar plexus, yes. Where's that at?
Right beneath it.
Was that the solar plexus?
I believe so.
Because that thing sticks wide. Not only my chest is very wide, but it's very deep too. So I'm caveman-like apparently. So my nipples are a lot further apart than 7.79 inches, at least 2 inches. So I'm a freak yet again. Thanks. Great. Perfect. A California police officer was caught on camera Monday evening as he worked to save the life of a choking infant at a Mountain View In-N-Out Burger. Ooh, I love In-N-Out Burger. Plenty good. According to a release from the Mountain View Police Department, Officer Garcia, there's an ad over that now, so we got to get rid of that.
I'm clicking and close like an MF. You know what? We'll just shit can that one and go to the next.
That's all we can do.
I have.
And then, of course, the greatest part is as soon as we went away from it, the ad went away. Yeah, it's a whole different way to do news now. It just is complete. You have no control over it. Nothing you can do about it. The luxury clothing brand Balenciaga. Is it Balenciaga?
Balenciaga.
Is that how you say it?
Balenciaga.
Balenciaga. Okay, thank you. The luxury clothing brand Balenciaga is under fire for selling a pair of $1,200 sweatpants. I told you not to buy those, Candace, but you wouldn't listen to me.
What's $1,200 for a gal like me?
Well, that's true. Good point. Built-in underwear that's always show. What the hell does that mean? They're made to look like you've got boxers on and your pants are sagging, so the top of the boxers are peeking out. They cost $1,190 at Balenciaga.com. Some people say it's cultural appropriation or downright racist. How you wear your boxer racist? I gotta go home and lock the door. I really do. Jesus, Palomino. Either way, that's an expensive pair of sweats. Once again, that coincidence in life. I was watching an old episode of Miami Vice last night. Or excuse me, CSI Miami. That's what it was. CSI Miami. And a very young Channing Tatum was on there. Okay. Christ, he looked like he was a teenager, so he was probably in his early 20s. And he's Miami, kind of like, I don't know if he's a gangbanger or what he is, but I doubt that they'd read the line the same way today in the story. I just watched it this morning, as a matter of fact. I woke up at 1:30 this morning and just started working out and watched some television. But so he's all, let me just tell you people one thing, man, don't mess with me. Bringing this on me, what you got to bring it on me for, man? So he's trying to be a gangbanger, even though he's a white guy. He's trying to be that, like a real inner city type of deal. And the response of the cop probably wouldn't have been recorded this way today. Because Channing Tatum's going, yeah, don't be bringing that on me, man. Get off my back. It's unbelievable you're picking on me like this. And the cop goes, why don't you cut the minstrel act? Oh. Okay. The minstrel act. Woo. Yeah, probably not going to be, wouldn't be used in today's world, I wouldn't think anyway. But yeah, Channing Tatum trying to do what he thought was an urban accent. Well, he's a terrible actor anyway, but he's a handsome young kid, a very handsome young guy, I will tell you that, Candace.
Yeah, he's
well-spaced nipples.
Yeah, he's got very well-spaced nipples. You're absolutely right. No question about it. Here's yet another reminder that your children now have thousands of different ways to meet strangers on the internet. So as exhausting and difficult as it sounds, you must keep on top of them. 13-year-old Elizabeth Robinson of Cypress, Texas, was playing the video game online through her Xbox and met a 12-year-old boy named Dylan from Hodgenville, Kentucky. They'd fight in the game's missions, talk over headsets, and eventually they fell in love. As much as a 13-year-old and 12-year-old can. And last Wednesday, Elizabeth decided she was going to meet Dylan in real life. So she stole her mom's debit card and her brother's car, started driving. Is she the one that's 13 or is she the one that's, well, it doesn't make any difference, I suppose, 12 or 13.
Yeah, she's 13.
She's 13. Okay. Last Wednesday, Elizabeth, she was going to meet Dylan. She got her brother's car, drove it 900 miles or so from Texas to northern Kentucky. Her parents and law enforcement officers tracked her down thanks to the debit card, and she was finally pulled over in Nashville, Tennessee on Thursday morning. That means a 13-year-old girl managed to drive 800 miles solo. Her parents say she's tall for her age, which is how she was able to see, to use the pedals and see. There's no word on how she became such a competent driver. Her dad headed to Nashville to meet her and for whatever reason decided to drive with her the rest of the way to Hodgenville so she could get the meeting with Dylan out of her system. When they got to Hodgenville, though, they couldn't find Dylan's house, so they drove back to Houston over the weekend. It looks like Elizabeth won't be facing any criminal charges for stealing the debit card or the car or for underage driving anyway. So do you think there is a Dylan? I don't know how that stuff works where you're talking to somebody online and all that stuff. Isn't it a lot of times they're pretending to be somebody they're really not?
Yeah, they can be. On those video games, though, you're hearing their voice and they're talking. So if it's, say, a 35-year-old man, of course, maybe she's just a little too immature and not experienced enough to know if he is or not. But you certainly don't have to give your real address, that's for sure. So you'd think he'd sound 12, but and she should know, hanging out with a lot of 12-year-old boys in school and that sort of thing. But I don't know. But
I'm going to hop on now.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to hop on the video games, then I'm going to go, you must have thought it was whiteboard day. And then you can come looking for me.
I never turn those on, but I was Call of Duty I was playing, and the sound just happened to be up. I don't have a headset, so I'm not participating, but I'm hearing what the other World of Tanks actually is what it was. I'm hearing the other people's comments. One guy's like, my wife tells me I got to go get a job and I got to do this and that. And I'm like, I'll get a job when I feel like getting a job. I'm in charge of my own life. And don't tell me, all of a sudden you hear a door open and you hear in the background. He goes, yes, dear. Dear. Of course. He goes, I got to go, guys.
Well, there you go. That's life right there, baby. That's all we have to say. Yes, dear. So, yes, Candace, just you want me to track down that episode for you so you can stare at Channing Tatum as an early 20s guy?
No, I have this thing called the internet. So
what is that?
I think I got it.
I thought it was the interweb. Isn't that what George W. Bush called it? The interweb?
The internet.
Was that him?
The internet.
Internets. The internets. That's what it was.
The internets.
We're going on the internets and everything will be good. It'll be wonderful. Science shows that we're primed to be productive, creative, and focused in the morning. That doesn't mean you have to get up before the sun's up. Just plan to do the most mentally challenging tasks on the early side of your day. Again, I don't know why that would even be. Do you think that's true? You just get out of the sack and that's the best time to start thinking about stuff? Because it takes me about a half hour to wake up, for Christ's sake. I'll tell you that. It takes me a long time to wake up. But I suppose that's because we get up at this morning, like I said, I got up at 1:30. Most days I get up at 2:30 or 3, something like that.
1:30?
So,
my God.
Yeah, I just woke up at 1:30 this morning. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and it's just, everybody's a pain in the ass right now. I don't know why, but they are. If women want real equality with men, they should insist that brodellos become real. What's a brodello? Well, it's a brothel staffed by men for the pleasure of women. At least 2 of these establishments have found great success in South Africa. So basically, you're going to find real equality with men by becoming hookers. Is that how we're going to do this? Does that make any sense to you at all?
I guess it just depends what else I have planned that night, but I
okay.
keep it open,
Well, see, now that's you're thinking it through. You're using your noggin on that one, so that's good. The 31st Annual Ig Nobel Prize Awards were just handed out. If you're not familiar, those are awards that are given to the most ridiculous advances in science and other academic fields each year. This year, 10 winners are researchers who use genetic analysis to compare the different species of bacteria found on discarded chewing gum recovered from paved surfaces in various countries. Researchers who tested the hypothesis that humans evolved beards to protect themselves from punches to the face. How would that prevent a punch to the face? A beard? Have to be awfully thick, wouldn't it?
Trying to wonder how that would be a deterrent. It might irritate the fist.
Yeah, that's about it. Researchers who use chemical analysis to test whether bodily odors created by a movie theater audience could be used to track incidents of violence, sexuality, drug use, and profanity in movies? Okay. A study that suggests the obesity of a country's politicians can be used to indicate the level of corruption in the country. So fat guys are more corrupt? Is that what they're saying? Yeah. Is that what they mean? Mm-hmm. I guess. A study demonstrating that sexual organs are as effective as decongestant medicines are improving nasal breathing. Okay. Boy. Researchers who conducted experiments to learn why pedestrians do not constantly collide with other pedestrians. And a different team of researchers who looked into why pedestrians sometimes do collide with other pedestrians. What the hell is this all about now? What is this?
We did every one of these stories this year. These were real stories. And the
Honest
Nobel
to God.
Awards. Ig Nobel Awards, I guess. Right.
Oh, it's Ig Nobel, is it? Oh, just like the Nobel Peace Prize is Ig Nobel.
Yeah. I could look up the beard story. I remember doing that one, and there was something they said that genetically over years men started growing beards, and women, that's why women don't have beards, because they weren't punching each other in the face so long ago. It's a more recent development.
So it has nothing to do with descending from monkeys. It has nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah, I like the rhinoceros one. That was good.
The rhinoceros one, yeah. You got the right horn. Is that the plan? That's the deal?
No, that one, the number 6.
Researchers who conducted experiments to find whether it's safer to airlift a rhinoceros upside down rather than right side up. To be clear, that's safer for the rhino, not the humans attempting to move it. Okay. Jesus Palomino. We're good to go. Who's ready?
What? No one's ready. That was a pop-up.
No, it just said Sam is ready. I'm like, okay, well. If you're wondering why you're striking out lately on Tinder, research suggests it might be because you're trying unsuccessfully to pursue people out of your league. Research has found that both men and women tend to pursue partners who are, on average, about 25% more desirable than they are. Yeah, we had talked about that earlier, that worked out pretty well. Researchers in Austria found that women subconsciously change their perception of a man based on the type of car that he drives instinctively. Women prefer a dominant and powerful mate and will often associate a man's character or status with the type of car he chooses. More powerful cars, such as a Mustang or sports car, translate as a more powerful man, a characteristic women subconsciously look for in a mate. Do you think that's true, that men, the muscle car deal, they're trying to put forth this I'm a real tough guy deal?
At least initially, yeah. Psychologically, that's going to be a factor until you get to know the person.
So does it mean you think you're a cool breeze if you drive a big old sedan or four-door?
Gives you a little attitude. Don't you think you step behind the wheel and kind of makes you feel that way?
Just basically, why don't you guys all just wait over there? We'll be good to go. That'll work for me. 7:32 now, 28 minutes till 8 o'clock. Walser Automotive Group, Walser.com, bringing you more of the KQ Morning Show. Walser Automotive brings you more of the KQ Morning Show. Walser announces WalserBuysCars.com. Walser's paying top dollar for vehicles whether you buy from them or not. Simply go to WalserBuysCars.com and get your instant offer. Walser Automotive Group, Walser.com. And Doug Sprinthal just minutes from now. Statistics from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that obesity affects more than 40% of American adults, placing them at higher risk for heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. The USDA's dietary guidelines for Americans 2020 to 2025 further tells us that losing weight requires adults to reduce the number of calories they get from foods and increase the amount expended through physical activity. This approach to weight management is based on the century-old energy balance model, which states that weight gain is caused by consuming more energy than we expect. In today's world, surrounded by highly palatable, heavily marketed, cheap processed foods, it's easy for people to eat more calories than they need, an imbalance that is further exacerbated by today's sedentary lifestyles. By this thinking, overeating coupled with insufficient physical activity is driving the obesity epidemic. On the other hand, despite the decades of public health messaging exhorting people to eat less and exercise more, rates of obesity and obesity-related diseases have steadily risen. The authors of the carbohydrate insulin model, a physiological perspective on the obesity pandemic, a perspective published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, point to fundamental flaws in the energy balance model, arguing that an alternate model, the carbohydrate insulin model, better explains obesity and weight gain. Moreover, the carbohydrate insulin model points the way to more effective, long-lasting weight management strategies. Yeah, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that people are a lot bigger right now than they have been. Well, and I shouldn't say right now. They've gotten bigger and bigger as time has gone. Is that because we're becoming more sedentary? Is it because all types of food are more readily available? Is it because of stresses? Do we know why people are eating more now than they used to?
There's more processed foods. That's for sure.
That's true. Good point.
I think all those variables have to contribute.
Yeah, probably true. Doug Sprinthal, Walser Automotive Group, Walser.com. What's up, Dougie?
So let me see if I get this news story right. If you eat more bad food and exercise less, you'll get fatter.
That's what it says. Yes, I don't really follow the thinking. Do you?
Did I hear you say you've been up since 1:30 this morning?
I woke up at 1:30, yep.
What? Why?
Because people are being a pain in the ass right now, and I can't sleep when people are being a pain in the ass. I don't know. The people are just... Right now, people are just odd.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is. Who knows? Everybody's a sugar
hope
tit.
You don't pass out during dinner tonight.
Well, yeah, we're going to. That's right. We're going to. Oh, Doug's here.
That'd be pretty funny, actually.
Just falling asleep at the. It's not. By the way, I'm here to warn you. I'm not staying till 11 o'clock. It ain't happening.
I don't think any of us are.
Thank God. Back in the day, baby.
Pretty early, but I remember the first couple were wine guzzling contests, I guess would be the polite way to put it. But that was back when you still drank, so that was, 9-10 years ago?
Yeah, over 9, that's true. But yeah, we one time we went to Bar La Grassa for dinner, for the annual Walser dinner. Got there at 5 o'clock, got out at 11. 6 hours we sat there and ate and drank. Jesus.
Well, the food is worth it.
It's a good time, though, hanging out. I schmooze with Paul, and then you guys just do what you do. Andrew's coming tonight, I heard.
Yep, that's what I hear.
Well, that'd be good. Let's stay, everybody. I'm looking forward to it. That's always a really fun dinner. We have a good time.
Yeah, they're interesting dinner companions because they always, they don't really talk about business very much. It's always kind of interesting stuff, and so I'm looking forward to it as well.
No, it'll be a good time. It'll be. Who's all coming? I don't even know who the hell's coming tonight. Do you?
I think Pat and Shelley from your team,
great.
Paul and Andrew and Kate, the marketing director, can't make it. She's got out-of-town family in town, so I think Colton's going to show up and pinch hit for her. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll work. That'll work, and you're going to be there.
Oh yeah. A free meal at Bar La Grassa? Wild horses. Keep me away from that.
Oh, there you go.
I've even gone there and paid for it with my own money, and you know how cheap I am. I love that restaurant.
That's really stepping out, baby.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to spend it.
Indeed, it's true. So what's happening in your life today? Oh, by the way,
we're looking for salespeople in several of our Twin Cities stores. If you go to walser.com and hit career from the drop-down, you can see all the job postings. And people can always contact me at doug@walser.com, and I'll connect them with the right people. But once again, Walser's been negotiation-free for its 20 years now. So you don't have to be a skilled negotiator to sell cars in our system. We really prefer people that really have good interpersonal skills. Teachers, servers, so on and so forth, do really, really well in our system. It's a salaried position. It's not commission. There is a bonus part to it as well, so you can do really well as a first-year salesperson in our system. We train people for 3 months before we set them free on the show floor, so they don't just say, all right, go get them, Tiger. We'll show you how to do it. We want you to be successful. So check it out at walser.com under careers, or you can just email me at doug@walser if you feel like it.
I ran into one of my neighbors, my neighbor Tim. He lives a couple blocks away. I believe you guys hired him yesterday, I think.
Oh, really?
That's what I think so. And I told another neighbor of mine, Mike, that he should come and talk to you because he'd do really well over there. They both will.
That's cool. I didn't think Edina people ever left Edina. Wow.
Well, we don't live in that part of Edina. We live over the other side of the tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, the rough, wild streets of western Edina.
Yes.
It's terrible out there.
Absolutely. The mean streets of the Southwest. That's exactly right. But no, he's very excited about there, and I hope Mike comes by too, because he's a hell of a guy.
Well, next time you talk to him, if I know what store he's working at, it'd be.
I do know he's working at Toyota in Bloomington.
Ah, the big flagship. Well, that's a good place to learn because it's always super busy and there's always stuff to do. It's one of my favorites. I don't. This is weird. It's like having 25 kids. There aren't any of our stores that I dislike. I think the one that needs the big facelift that they're doing right now is the Hyundai store up in Brooklyn Park. That's probably our oldest, most kind of old school looking dealership. And Wayzata as well, but those are both going to get redone in the next year and look more like the rest of the Walser stores, so that's cool.
It is a good thing, but yeah, the people do like working there. And I told him, I told Tim, I said, well, you're not going to really like Doug, but other than that, everything's good.
Oh yeah, I'm there all the time. They don't even let me in the stores anymore.
That's true. It's because you hang out with me. That's exactly
right. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is.
We're all in huge trouble, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Pally. Well, I will see you at 5 o'clock.
Looking forward to it. Have a great day.
You too, Dougie. Thanks a lot. Doug Sprinthal, Walser Automotive Group, walser.com. 7:40 now, 20 minutes till 8 o'clock, KQRS. All things considered, it might be good for America's gene pool if this guy has trouble reproducing. On Thursday morning, 18-year-old Michael Smarilio of Port St. Lucie, Florida, was cleaning a gun he'd illegally bought from a guy at a party in August. But the gun was loaded, and while Michael was cleaning it, it went off. Well, the bullet went through his penis. then blasted through his left testicle and finally lodged in his thigh. He went to the hospital where he was treated. When someone comes into the hospital with a bullet wound, even an embarrassing one, the policy is to call the cops. At first, Michael told them someone shot him in the junk, but eventually he told him he said somebody else shot him in the crotch. Wouldn't it be pretty easy to prove that they didn't? When he told them he'd bought the gun at his friend's party, the cops went to that friend's house to investigate and found the friend had a bunch of marijuana. So Michael's friend, 22-year-old Joe, said, "Thanks a lot there, Bill, or Michael, or whatever the hell your name. Yeah, why don't you go over to Joe's house and arrest him? Thank you." It's not clear yet what charges Michael will be facing or how much function doctors were able to restore down below. I would imagine point blank in the crotch with a handgun is probably not that, it's not a slight injury, I wouldn't think. Probably not, anyway. Men really do lose their minds when they see a hot woman. Research shows that if a guy views a sexy girl, his brain gets stalled for several seconds, leaving him temporarily unable to focus on other things. Not a surprise. I don't think, anyway. Is that a surprise to anyone?
Oh, that's totally true.
Totally true. You guys believe you're buying it? Oh, there you go. A police officer in England borrowed someone's bike to chase down a suspect and was all caught on his body cam. This is the moment that Officer Tom Harris spotted the suspect across a park, borrowed the bike, chased him down for the arrest. Director Guy Ritchie would love this accent. The audio KQ.
What for your bike? Yeah. That bloke there. Hands be on your back now. I borrowed this bike off a bloke down there. Yeah. To be able to drop it back for us.
That sounds exactly like Brad Pitt in Snatch. Remember his character?
I was thinking of that, yeah.
What? No, his character.
Your bike? Yeah. That bloke there. Hands be on your back now. I borrowed this bike off a bloke down there. Yeah. To be able to drop it back for us.
Yes, I agree with you, sir. Whatever you just said. I have no idea. Have you ever been there? You ever sat and tried to talk to someone with that accent?
No.
Impossible. You can't do it because like. Yes, I agree completely. You're absolutely right. Keegan-Michael Key is joining Timothy Chalamet. Is it Chalamet or Chalamet?
I think Chalamet.
It is Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet and Wonka, an upcoming Warner Brothers musical prequel to the Roald Dahl classic Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Individuals with knowledge of the casting confirmed to the Wrap. Key's role is being kept secret for now, but it's known that the film will star Chalamet as Dahl's famous chocolatier Willy Wonka. Follow his travels around the world before he built the magical candy factory that poor, humble Charlie Bucket, or what is it, Bouquet? What's that show again? Hello, Mrs. Bucket. It's Bouquet. What show is it? It's a British sitcom. It's very, very funny, actually. God, I can't remember her full name, but she is terrific in it. Really good. So Charlie Bucket, I'm going to go with, would eventually inherit. The team behind the critically acclaimed Paddington films is attached to Wonka as Paul King. Will direct the film and co-write with writing partner Simon Farnaby, with David Heyman producing through Heyday Films. So they're making another Wonka. I've never seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I know, you have to. The original, though.
Yeah, I've never seen it. And so is that different than Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Is that a different version?
What?
Because there's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and there's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No.
Is that the same movie?
They're both called Charlie.
No.
What?
One's called Willy Wonka.
What the?
Yeah, I thought so.
Are you serious?
Well, the Gene Wilder one.
Gene Wilder one you want to see.
Oh, my God. I didn't even realize that.
And that's Willy Wonka, right? The one that Gene Wilder's in.
Yeah. And it's the same story from the book. However, the Tim Burton version, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, sticks a little closer to the book version.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So is it just the same movie with two different titles, or are they two different movies?
Oh, they're two different movies. One's with Gene Wilder, and the other one's with Johnny Depp.
But I mean, the story, is the story the same, or is it different?
It's the same, but because Tim Burton sticks to the book a little more closely. The endings, I think, are vastly different, but it's generally the same story.
So I'll have to give it a spin. I'll have to give it a whirl because I like the people that are in it. So I'll have to track them down.
See the Gene Wilder version, though.
Yeah, I like. No, he died, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad. I always liked him. Blazing Saddles, man. He was terrific. Caller number 9 wins a pair of tickets to Guns N' Roses with special guest Mammoth WVH at the XL Energy Center. That's on September 21st. Tickets furnished by Live Nation and the XL Energy Center. Caller number 9, 651-989-ROCK, 651-989-ROLL. Caller 9 wins a pair of tickets to Guns N' Roses, special guest Mammoth WVH at the XL Energy Center, September 21st. Call us now and win the tickets. That'd be good. Nothing's classier than getting pounded behind a hot dog stand in the middle of the night. What do you mean by getting pounded? Does that mean having sex or getting beaten up? We're going to find out. Because you see, when I was a kid, if you got pounded, it meant that somebody kicked your ass. I don't know if that continued. Did that continue on?
I think you're right. It's a versatile term. It could go either way.
I guess so, yes. Around 2:30 in the morning on Sunday, police in Traverse City, Michigan reported to a hot dog stand called the House of Dogs, that's Goggs, because people heard a woman screaming. It turns out she was screaming in passion because the 22-year-old woman and a 19-year-old guy were totally naked and having sex right there behind the House of Dogs. Both of them told the cops it was consensual and doing it behind the hot dog stand was, quote, a mistake. They were both arrested for gross indecency. That's not bad. Now, arrest them for indecency, but gross indecency?
Yeah, it's a little judgmental, isn't it?
It really is, I think. I don't know why you want to act like that, but, you know. Yeah, I couldn't. I got to be honest with you. I could not get comfortable in the middle of the day, stooping behind a hot dog stand. I would not be able to relax. Can you guys pull that one off?
I'd have to be pretty drunk.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's probably true. Yeah.
In which case, then I wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, exactly. So you're not going to do it anyway. So, you know, between Candace and Tony, what are we talking, 15, 16 times?
What? So we've done it?
No, not you two. I'm just at different areas of your life.
Oh, yeah, it's been a couple that were public.
It's been a couple.
Yeah.
The only time, oh, God, never mind. I was going to go down a really bad path there. Never mind.
Come on.
If one time, sitting in a bus, this is about, Christ, 50 years ago probably, sitting on a bus bench, not a bus bench, but a park bench down on Lake of the Isles, and it wasn't Stuppen, it was playing the trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that was youthful. I was much younger then, right?
I had one little venture at Lake of the Isles as well.
Oh, you got it. Lake of the Isles, I mean, kind of drives you to it, doesn't it?
We were in the water, and a couple was strolling by, and it was dark. And they went, "Oh, look, some ducks."
I thought you were a duck?
Quack. Mm-hmm.
That thing, one thing I will tell you, just to prove to you that I wasn't lying about that, can you believe how mucky the bottom of the Lake of the Isles is?
Yeah, it was mucky and mossy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like deep muck, too, so be careful. Don't be just going in there, man, because probably suck you into mid-earth, for Christ's sake. But that is a beautiful, I've always loved that area. From the time I was a little boy, I loved that whole Lake of the Isles, Lake Calhoun at the time, Lake Harriet, all that stuff. Beautiful, beautiful area. Ladies and gentlemen, 7:49 now, 11 minutes till 8 o'clock at KQRS. A little news, a little information. Dr. Joseph Lee, President and CEO, of Hazelden Betty Ford, talks about the National Recovery Month. Dr. Joseph Lee is up next on KQ.
We'll be right back with more KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Tom Bernard here. Thanks for listening to our KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by our friends at Walzer Automotive Group. Walzer is proud to be the Twin Cities' one low-price dealer group. That means upfront, no haggle pricing on every single new and used vehicle they sell. With 24 dealerships over 2 states and a love-it-or-leave-it return policy, you can buy with confidence. I encourage you to experience the Walzer way to buy your next vehicle. See Walzer.com for details. Thanks for listening and enjoy our show.
The KQ Morning Show is back. Let's go! 92 KQRS.
7:57 now, 3 minutes till 8 o'clock, KQRS. Florida man won $1 million in a lottery game. The same day he and his wife opened an auto repair shop. Brian Woodall, 46, bought the $5 Gold Rush Supreme scratch-off ticket from a Circle K in Callahan, Florida. I love working on vehicles, and it's always been my dream to own my own repair shop, Woodall said in a news release sent by the Florida Lottery. At the end of our first day, I stopped by Circle K to get a few things and picked up a lottery ticket. Just like that, we won $1 million. I said $1 million. He selected to receive a one-time lump sum payment of $880,000. The lottery said the Circle K store will receive a $2,000 bonus commission for selling the winning ticket. Callahan is near Jacksonville on Florida's Atlantic coast. So I have a question for you guys. Why would you, because it doesn't really say if the guy's got some dough or not, but why would you take it out? Because they'll pay it out to you over like a 20-year period, won't they? Or can you set aside, pay it out over 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20? You can do that, right?
I don't know if you can choose your payment schedule. Can you?
Well, it depends on the lottery, like the mega, the one that's up to, and I don't know if someone won. Was there a drawing last night or is that Wednesday and Saturday? But yesterday we announced it's closing in on $500 million. That one you can, but some of the state ones you can't, or you get it over a 5-year period or something like that because they're not as huge.
Yeah, because see, the reason I asked that is if you win $1 million and, they're going to raise the income tax, you don't want to take it all at once because you're paying at a 40% rate if that's what they do bring it to. Whereas if you take it in 5 payments at $200,000, your debt to the government would be much lower. So that would make sense. Take it out over 5. Yeah, I wouldn't take the 880 right out of the box because you already lost $120,000. Yeah. And now you're going to have to pay 40% just federal income tax on that if they pass it. Right now it's 31. I think combined in Minnesota it's 39% or something. Isn't Minnesota's top rate like 8% and the Fed top percent I think is 31? I think that's how it goes. But yeah, take it over a 5-year period. You won't pay anywhere near as much income tax on it. It's a good plan. Dr. Joseph Lee is with us, President and CEO of Hazel and Betty Ford. September is National Recovery Month. Dr. Lee, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor.
It's an honor to have you on, and just let's get it up right up front. Dr. Lee is no way related to Tony Lee. Good for you, Dr. Joseph Lee. Let me just point. Tony?
He laughs.
He laughs. As the first medical doctor to lead the organization, Dr. Lee can discuss the following things, and I do want to ask him. So how long have you been with Hazel and Betty Ford?
I've been with the organization for 13 years. I came straight from my fellowship at Johns Hopkins, drove across the country, and I've been in Minnesota ever since and love it here. Dr.
Lee, I got to tell you, a couple of years ago, God, I can't believe that was a couple of years too. Was that 2 years ago, the last live one? We had that big audience sitting on the grass out there in that beautiful day. You remember that day?
That's right. Yeah, and long for those days to come back again.
It was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think. Yeah, just a nice day. Boy, I tell you what, people just lined up to tell their story or to say hello or listen to your story or whatever. I really enjoyed being one of the speakers that day, so thank you guys for that. It was quite the privilege.
Yeah, it was awesome having you, and again, it's a real honor to speak on National Recovery Month because there's a lot of lives that we're honoring, some lives that have passed, other lives that are in recovery, and it's a great time to celebrate. And we've had to do a lot during the pandemic to make sure that we're the safest healthcare location for people to go to, and those are things that we're taking action on, voting with our feet to make sure that we're in a stigmatized industry. And when the pandemic started, we were at the very back of the line for equipment, for masks, for testing. It was very scary because I was in the front line then. And now, a year and a half later, we're at the very front of the line. We have nearly 90% of our employees vaccinated. And that's because our staff believe in a commitment. They know more people are dying than ever before, that more people are falling through the cracks. And they made a commitment to do better and to make it a safer place for people to get care. And I'm so proud of them.